Hi, LBF followers. Thank you for joining me for another segment of Frankly Speaking Fridays. I'm Lisa Frank, owner of LBF Strategies, Recruitment and Career Coaching. Thank you to all of those who continue to send me questions and topics that you want me to address on my weekly sessions, my weekly segments. And thank you for those who keep sharing the love. I am getting emails from people and calls from people telling me that they have seen my videos and that they're helpful. And so please continue to hit that share button and send this to people who you think that that may be beneficial for people who are trying to navigate the job search or career search process. This week, I have one of my clients to thank for our topic. One of my clients was talking to me about virtual interviews and candidates that they have been virtually interviewing, and I thought, hey, we need to prep on virtual interviews. Done a lot of prep on interview in person and via phone, but virtual is kind of a whole new ballgame, and it's kind of this weird hybrid of both with a totally different dynamic. And so wanted to bring a few different tips on how to be successful in a virtual setting, a virtual interview. A few things to do before you even get on the screen. First, make sure ahead of time that your camera is working, that your microphone and sound is working, and that you have a strong and stable internet connection wherever in your home or car or wherever you may be. You don't want to be trying to figure that out while you're on the call with the interviewer and having to restart your computer and, things like that we've all been experiencing. Second of all, dress as if you are attending the interview. The whole thing. I know a lot of people are wearing the anchor outfit where we're beautifully dressed on the top and sweatpants on the bottom, but you never know when you have to stand up and move around. I was interviewing somebody who was very well dressed, looked really great, and had some noise in his apartment and had to get up and shut the door. And I got, he was wearing shorts on the bottom. And even though we're all kind of accepting of these things, you don't want to be caught in that situation. And second of all, I think that it just helps with mindset to really be dressed as if you're in an interview, maybe all the way from the, shoes all the way to the top. I think it just helps put you in that professional mindset. Once you are on the call, maintain good eye contact. I know that that's weird, but try to set your camera so that it appears that you're looking at the person, that you're not looking at yourself, and that you're not looking over here, that you're engaging with the person and hearing what they're saying and looking at them. The other thing is stay still in your chair. Many of us are like, oh, I'm not comfortable, and I'm at home, and I'm maybe on a couch, maybe not in a conference room. That's really distracting to an interviewer. So stay still, sit professionally, just as if you were in a room. You wouldn't be doing that most likely if you were in someone's office or in a conference in a conference room sitting at a conference table. Minimize distractions that are around you. Let the people, if you live with people, let them know that you're going to be interviewing, and really try to find a quiet place where you can do that. I know that many of us are at home. We're understanding of that. We have family members, kids, parents, spouses, whomever. Usually they'll be understanding of that and do what they can to keep things quiet. On that note, in addition to minimizing distractions from home, turn off your notifications on your computer. That part is really important. I was actually talking to a client today, and he said that that's a habit that he's starting to get into also. And I think it's real easy for us to see a text popping up on our screens or an email coming through, and you don't want to lose focus. You want to stay engaged, and you don't. It becomes very obvious when something comes through and you're reading that and you're not listening to the person who's trying to interview you, or you lose track of what you're saying. Do what you can to read the room when you are in the interview. I know it's a little weird because we can't fully see the nonverbal piece and the body language the same we would be able to in person, and we can't always feel that energy of engagement. Are they picking up what I'm putting down? Are they interested in what I'm saying? Things like that. But do your best, and if that means that you ask, can you hear me okay? Or some clarification and make sure that you're answering a question the way that they want, or trying to have dialogue back and forth a little bit, and even just kind of building rapport and talking about life a little bit. Do what you can to kind of get a pulse with people. I think that part is really important. And if you see someone kind of zoning out, or you think that they're not really paying attention, try to ask if they can hear you okay, and if what you're saying is connecting with what they're asking. And that goes for kind of the whole interview. Check in periodically. Make sure that everybody can hear you. Make sure that you are sharing the kind of information that is important. Do what you can to connect with people and get a feel for if you are sharing with them, and if they're hearing from you the kinds of things that are important. Sometimes you have a question, sometimes you have multiple people on an interview, which also is kind of juggling a lot of, it's like the Brady Bunch, it's juggling a lot of different squares. And so if you have a question, instead of opening it up to the whole group, maybe you want to ask one particular person and address them specifically, because you can't necessarily do that the same way that you can in person. So maybe you want to say, John, tell me a little bit about this, or Jane, tell me a little bit about this, and be a little bit more specific in some of your questions, and who you're targeting, and getting some of the information that you're looking for, and making sure that you're keeping attention with everybody. The other thing is, we all know that we can overlap when there are multiple people on one of these platforms. So try to take turns, try to give space in between. If you have a question, or if the interviewer has a question, make sure that they've completed asking the question before you start talking, and vice versa. Just kind of be mindful of space between people talking, so that you're not talking on top of each other. It's very easy to do in this dynamic, as great as it is. I don't know if you've ever tried to sing together on Zoom, but it's really a weird thing, and you can tell where all the delays are. And so just, take a breather and take some space to make sure that people are done talking before you start talking. And just remember to bring your enthusiasm and your engagement and your excitement. Just like if you're on a phone interview, I say to people, you can always hear if you're laying down on the couch versus if you're up and sitting at a table or walking around and enthusiastic about a role during a phone interview. Same goes for this kind of platform. Bring your enthusiasm, bring your excitement. Of course, bring all of your other preparation that's important to any other interview, but let that come through and let that shine through, and smile and be engaged, and do what you can to feel like you are in the same room, even though that energy isn't necessarily there and you can't bounce off each other the same way. The more you're enthusiastic and the more you're excited to be there, and the more present you are and have minimized all the other distractions around you, albeit kind of this weird situation right now of interviewing from home, the more the interviewer will pick up on that as well. Thank you for joining me. If you have any other tips that you can share that have been helpful to you in the virtual interview process, please put them in the comments. Continue to send questions my way. Continue to hit the share button. Again, I'm Lisa Frank from LBF Strategies, Recruitment and Career Coaching. Thank you for joining us for Frankly Speaking Fridays. Have a great weekend and see you next week.